Welcome back to the Good Father Podcast. I'm your host, Safari, here today to answer that wonderful question. I know you saw the description. Who has more right, the mother or the father? And typically, everybody's going to say the mother has more right. She gave birth to the child, so therefore, she's got the right. Well, technically, it doesn't work that way. If there's no order in place and you sign the birth certificate, then you have 50% legal right to the child. No one parent is better until there's an order in place. So, with that being said, um, understand that when you go to court, if you guys still live together and you have an amicable divorce, that way you're still in the home, then you have a shot at getting custody. But if you're the parent that is not in the home, most living with the children actively, most likely you won't get custody. Now, if you have like a joint living arrangement and you two are amicable during the breakup, then yes, it's definitely possible for you guys to have a good co-parenting relationship. But in most cases, majority, it's not the case. So, for those people in that situation, I'm speaking to you. In the event that something happens, if we're talking a fresh break, the first thing you want to do is stop. Be patient. I know it hurts. I know the emotions are built up in you, and you want to respond. You want to lash out. You want to be angry, but don't. Take a step back. Um, if you're the dad and and she has the kids, enjoy your freedom. Take a time and step back. Enjoy the silence. Like Bruce Lee says, be water, flow like the water. Meaning that, hey, this is a situation you're dealing with. Accept it, embrace it, and find the best in that situation. And that's the context I'm taking for this situation. So, with that being said, when the breakup first happens, don't engage with the emotional nonsense. Speak to her or him only in regards to the children. Save the emotion for your new significant other, your girlfriends, whoever. Better yet, save it for your therapist. When dealing with that person, that significant other, that's going to be a part of you until most likely you pass away, because your kids are most likely going to outlive you. So you got to be prepared to deal with that person. And starting off and holding anger and animosity is not going to be the way. So again, who has rights? Who has the most rights? It's equal in the beginning. But what happens to most guys is traditionally they move out, forced out, kicked out. But a lot of times, not saying all, but a lot of times, guys are having to deal with domestic violence cases. Guys who've never had any issues with the law ever once, never been in the court, never for a speeding ticket. Now all of a sudden they're labeled as wife beaters and child abusers. And most men go into a shell, as I did the first time it was alleged against me. But I took a deep breath and I stopped. And I was like, nah, that ain't me. Everybody who knows me knows that's not me, so I'm gonna fight. I don't know how I'm gonna fight, but I'm gonna fight. So for me, I had my kids when we first broke up. I wound up having my kids because it got to be a little too much for her, she was saying. So I went and got the kids and I kept them. And short story short, basically, she's supposed to get the kids for Christmas. Made a big stink about wanting the kids, and she didn't come and get them for Christmas. And was nowhere to be found. Claimed to be with her dad, but funny how karma works. Her dad happened to give me a call, and he was looking for her and checking on his kids. Come to find out, she wasn't with me, it was with him. So, short story shorter, got to a little argument about that. She decided she wanted to come to the house, and this was 3 months after we had broken up. Come to my house on New Year's Eve and pick the girls up. Not Christmas, because we couldn't contact her, didn't say do anything for Christmas. We didn't hear from her. But on New Year's Eve, she decided she wanted to come to my house with the police and everybody and kick my door and try to take my kids. Wasn't going to happen. Now, in this instance, um, the police put in her head, I heard them even put in her head, said, telling her to go file the protective order. Me hearing them tell her that, I went and filed one myself. And went down to court. We both had protective orders in there, and they pretty much got dismissed in the city. Because the judge was like, look, no, this is, you both are equal in this, and no, I'm not giving any order, denied her order. So she went to the county in Baltimore County and talked to a judge there who was more sympathetic and granted her the order for the same exact thing she claimed in Baltimore City. I catch wind of it. I get to court and say, hey, this was just, she just brought this up in Baltimore City, and this was just dismissed in Baltimore City, so she can't bring it back up in the county. It can't happen. But it did, and they gave protective order. Took my kids that were living with me for 3 months and gave them to her. I don't know how that works. But yeah, that's how those ex parte orders go, because they're there before you, and you're not there. Which I think those orders, I understand the necessity for them, but when the system is being manipulated and utilized for manipulation, it doesn't work well. And most of the times, the system is getting manipulated. But no, let me take it back. I don't know for a fact, so I'm not going to say that. But there are plenty of cases to show that the system gets manipulated regularly. So we're going to say that it happened for me personally 4 times. But anyway, just for this one situation, went to the court, said, hey, hold up, no. We just talked about this in Baltimore City, and they dismissed this. Right when the judge was about to dismiss it, she decides to launch a new allegation in open court saying that I'm abusing my kids. And then the judge is obligated, because it's on a record, and he extends her order to find out what's going on. Now, I'll say she's very kind and very slick, because during this time, when that happened, she immediately called the police on me and said that I violated the order before I knew the order was even in place. So she got the order like at 7 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock she claimed I violated it, was at the court by like 1 o'clock in the morning, claiming I violated it, getting a warrant for my arrest. All before I got served. And legally, you can't do it because I have to be served. But technically, it was because it was issued, and the police didn't know, and nobody knew if I was or wasn't served because it had just happened. They just issued the warrant anyway. So I never got to go back to court for my second hearing to prove. And mind you, understand that I was cleared of child abuse, but because I missed that second court hearing, they granted her the order. And for me, I had been locked up, so I wasn't even aware of what was going on. I didn't find out until afterwards, and I didn't have time to respond. Come to find out later on, I could have responded as soon as I got a judge just basically saying that I was locked up and I couldn't respond, and he would have allowed me to respond and reopen it up. But anyway, fast forward a few months, we'll say 5. I come to find out that, hey, I was cleared, because of course they told her right away, but never told me. And during this time, she was holding the kids hostage from me. Long story short, I found out that I could appeal or I could get an appeal to modify the order. So that's what I did. I first started by modifying as far as showing that, hey, I was cleared of all the child abuse allegations, so there's no reason for me to have supervised visitation. So I was granted regular visitations, and I got them every week. Friday through Saturday. Friday through I want to say Friday through Thursday. No, Friday through Monday. So with the Friday through Monday schedule, with the Friday through Monday. Pardon me. I took a step back. It was Friday through Sunday initially. And I slowly finessed it to be Friday through Sunday. I'm sorry, Friday through Monday. Then sometimes I was getting Thursday through Monday. So there was times I would have my kids from Thursday, like if they was on vacation or something, I swear Friday, Thursday. to Monday and taking them back to school on Monday. So I'd pick them up and then take them to school. And it got to the point where I convinced my ex to allow me to take them to school every Monday. So by utilizing an appeal process and the modification process, I was able to go from supervised visitations, basically no visitations, to every weekend, to 3 days a week, to doggone near 4 days a week, just by slowly staying consistent and just working the orders and just filing and staying on top of filing. But for me, this video is going to be long, but real quick again, just to summarize, until an order's in place, no parent has more right to the child. They're equal. You can't move your kid around, you can't change schools, you can't do any of that without consideration and speaking and getting permission from the other parent. Period. Thanks for listening to my little bit of stories. But again, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the whole deal. Just pray for each other. Be blessed. Also, in the next video, I'm gonna tell you guys about what I utilize to kind of start my journey on understanding and learning how to utilize the law for my benefit. And again, nothing crazy, like it, just basically understand what the lawyers are doing and talking to the lawyers in their language and having them do what I need them to do. Making judges do what I want them to do. Making lawyers do what I want them to do. Because they have to follow certain rules. And once you understand what those rules are, they have to do it. They don't have a choice. They're required to follow the rules of the court. They can't. If they don't, they lose their job. And trust me, there was a lawyer that decided to try to mess around with me, and that lawyer wound up getting disbarred. So, yeah. But again, pray for each other. Be kind. Just bless. Just be blessed, and just love each other and love your neighbor. That's all I can say, man. Be good.